Yes, the session is already recorded because the knowledge that we're going to be covering today has been done in another session already. So it's going to be all good, guys. Excited to have you here today. Been a long time since I had a class full of more than 20 members. Let's go. Two more minutes for the others to join and we can start.
Recording in progress.
Okay, hello everyone. So first of all, I want to say thank you for having me as your mentor, putting your faith in me that I can guide you in this journey, make you all profitable traders by the end of this mentorship. So what I can promise you is that I'll give you 100% of the knowledge, okay, that I use in this market. I will not hide any concept from you guys, like some of them do nowadays, especially like the Malaysian mentors. They keep their knowledge only for the Malaysians. When it comes to the international mentorships, they just give 60 to 70%. So profitability also does not come from the knowledge alone, okay? So it doesn't matter what strategy you use, even if it's the holy grail that I'm going to give you guys, okay? So you're going to need a lot of time and efforts in the charts. Forward testing, I'm not going to say back testing because I'm not a fan of that, okay? So forward testing the concepts until you find your edge. After this session, I'll be giving you homework to do. The only consequences of not doing the homework is your own downfall and loss, okay? So, yeah. For this session, I'll be pretending that none of you guys know anything about the Malaysian SNR, okay? None of you ever attended the class before. Even some of you here are coming from old Malaysian SNR mentorships. Some of you are here from Arif, some of you are here from Ivan, okay? Some of you are even from the SMC communities, okay? So let's just get started. So the first thing that you should understand about the Malaysian SNR, okay, SNR support and resistance, or any support and resistance level, is that when you look at the price, you should look at the current price action. So the current price action is sitting at 2018 level, or any type of concept, whatever that you get above the current price action. So you see here the current price action. Anything above it acts as a resistance. Okay, it doesn't matter how it looks, it doesn't matter how big it is, it doesn't matter anything. So anything that you get below the current price action is gonna act as a support. Okay, so a support, the point of the support is pushing price up. So when we are heading to a support, you're gonna expect price to bounce out of it. Okay, this is the same for the resistance. When you go to resistance, you're gonna expect price to bounce off of that to the downside. So how do you mark the Malaysian SNR key levels? The first thing you should understand is what you'll see, open, high, low, close of the candlestick. Okay, so say you have candlestick right here. That's made out of body and a wick. Okay, so you're going to be focusing on the closing price. Okay, you're going to have the low, the high, and if the candlestick is bullish, you're going to have the open right here, and you're going to have the closing up there, right? And if it is bearish, you're going to have the closing below and the opening above. You're going to be always focusing on the closing, okay? But not just of one candlestick. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example here. So let's take the last candlestick right here. So this is the high, this is the low, and this is the open, and this is the close, right? So you're going to be focusing on the closing price. The closing price is the key level. Now, can you mark the key level right here? No, you can't, because this is not the key level yet. You need two candlesticks, okay, two consecutive candlesticks that finished forming in order for a key level to be formed. Okay, so you're gonna have to pick, let's say, this candlestick and this one, this bullish candlestick and then the bearish candlestick. You're gonna pick this pair, and then you're gonna be drawing on the closing of the first one. So this is the bullish candle, this is the second bearish candle. So the closing of the first one is the one that you're gonna be drawing your line in, right? Okay, so this is your key SNR level. So in SNR you have 5 types of levels. So I've talked about 3 already in the analysis video on trading nut. The rest I'll be showing you here today. So the first level, which is the gap, is basically just give me a minute right here, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So the first level is basically the gap. So you need 2 consecutive candlesticks of the same color. That means you're going to have 2 bearish candlesticks or 2 bullish candlesticks. And you're going to be focusing on the closing of the first one. The closing of the first one is right here. The closing of the first one is right here. This is a bearish gap. This is a bullish gap. Okay. So let's take a look at the charts. So here you're going to have a bullish candlestick and another bullish candlestick. So when you go to the closing of the first one, this is the gap right here. Okay, so bearish candlestick, closing of the first one, that is your gap. Someone said, can you slow down a little bit and lagging a little on this end? So is it laggy for everyone or just Luke? Okay, going smooth for DK, good here. Amazing, amazing. Okay, amazing. Whenever it's lagging or having any issues, just let me know, guys, okay? Very good. So, everything clear about the gap? It's 2 consecutive candlesticks of the same color, bullish, bullish, or bearish, bearish. Okay, now let's go to the second type of the SNR. So the second type is basically called the A level. Okay, once you understand the second type, you're gonna find the third type easier, which is the V level. Now, the A level is basically 2 consecutive candlesticks, but the first one is bullish and the second one is bearish. For the third type, which is the V, the first one is bearish, the second one is bullish. It's just the opposite. Now, when you take a bullish candlestick and a bearish candlestick right here, this is a bearish candlestick and a bullish candlestick. So the closing of the first one is going to make the shape of an A, and here it's going to make the shape of a V. Why does it make the shape of an A or a V? You're going to be basically in Malaysian SNR using the line chart, especially in the beginning, to help yourself spotting the levels. Why is that? So in the beginning, I told you that the Malaysian SNR, you're going to be focusing on the closings. What's the job of the line chart? The line chart is going to make curves on each closing of each candlestick. So when you go to the line chart, you see all these curves right here, these tops, these bottoms, right? These are all curves of the closing price in this market. Okay, so whenever you see a curve like this, what shape is this, guys? This is giving me the shape of an A. Okay, so automatically it's a bullish candle and then a bearish candle, which is the second type of SNR. It is the A level. Okay, it's the same for the V level. Is when you go here and you look bearish candlestick and then a bullish candlestick. When you drag the line chart, it gives you the shape of a V. Okay, so if you're basically struggling in the start to spot the levels A's and V's, okay, just grab your line chart and go randomly here and then up V level, A level right here. Okay, so this is just to mark the level. Okay, we're not going to be talking about entries today, sharp, drawdown, whatever. Okay, so the third level is a V, as I said, and the fourth level is the QM. So you might have heard of this term in the Malaysian SNR industry or communities about the QM. QM, what's a QM? QM is very simple. So you're going to have an A level that's broken twice. It's that simple. So, or a V level that's broken twice. So you're going to have an A level right here, as you can see. So you're going to have a bullish candlestick and a bearish candlestick. And then price tends to break it once and then break it twice down. Okay, so price is going to break it once and then break it for the second time down again. Okay, so the first A level, okay, is gonna face a bigger A level. So the small A level is the one that's called the QM. I'm gonna show you an example right here. So here you have an A level, okay, and then price did what? Break it once, break it twice. So price broke it twice in here. So you're gonna have the small A level that got broken twice, and then you have the big A level. So the small A level is your QM. Okay, as you can see here, it's a bullish candle, bearish candle, closing of the first one. That is the QM. Now, is that clear for the QM, guys? Amazing. Why did you mark the upper A? So the upper A is basically the big A. So when you have a big A above the small a, this is the QM, the left shoulder basically, Quasimodo. QM stands for Quasimodo. Okay, so the fifth type of SNR, which is not really my favorite, is the SBR and RBS. What's that? So SBR or RBS. Yeah, it's the same for this one, bro. Like you can have this as a QM, this is a QM. I just didn't want to confuse you with a lot of levels. Yeah, the same thing. So as you can see here, this is an A level that got broken once, twice. It is a QM, correct? Yeah, head and shoulders. If you're similar with it, just use line chart, guys. So here you're gonna have an SBR or RBS. So what's that? It's basically support becoming resistance, or resistance becoming support. It's not break, okay? The B does not stand for break, it stands for become. So a support does not have to be a V level. A support can be an A level. So let's take this A level right here. Is this A level below the current price action? If yes, it can act as a support. Now, the SBR is basically support becoming resistance, is a level that is below the current price action that gets broken, so it acts as a resistance. It's very simple. So let's take this one as a V level right here. See, this is a V. If price breaks it, it's going to be acting as a resistance. Why is that? Because we said that the current price action, any level above it, is going to act as a resistance. Before that, it used to act as a support. So it's the same thing for the RBS. Resistance becoming support. Okay, resistance, price breaks it below the current price action, so it acts as a support. Clear, guys? Any questions? Amazing, everything clear. Okay, so we are done with the types of the levels. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is the fresh and unfresh concept. Okay, we're going to be talking deeply about that today. I don't want anyone to be leaving with doubts about the fresh, because it has some of the flaws in it. Okay, so I'm going to show you everything today. So fresh and unfresh concept, you're going to have a lot of basically examples on when do you say about a level is fresh and when do you say it's unfresh. So the first scenario, okay, is very simple. You ask yourself, okay, you ask yourself, did price action touch my key level? Any key level. It can be A, V, QM, SBR, RBS, or a gap. Okay, so in this case, we're going to take an A level and draw to the right. The first question is, did price action touch this A level? Okay, so if it is a no, means that the level is fresh. Okay, if no, means that the level is fresh. If it is a yes, it doesn't mean it's unfresh yet. You're going to have to ask another question, which is what type of price action that touched the level. So in this case, this level is fresh simply because we did not touch it with any price action. So let's take another level that got touched by price action. So let's take this gap right here. As you can see, this is a bearish candle, closing of the first one. You draw your line to the right. So this is a gap. Now, when you ask yourself the first question, which is, did we touch the level with the price action? You're going to be answering by a yes. Why? So you're going to have a gap, and it is touched by this candlestick. So The answer is going to be yes, we touched the level. But is it unfresh yet? No. When you touch it with price action, you ask yourself the second question, which is what type of price action? Now, the type of price action, you have two. You have body and you have a wick. So it's either going to be a body or a wick or both. Okay, and I'm going to tell you what to do when you have both. So in this case, is it a body or a wick? In this scenario, it is a body. When it is a body, it is fresh. Okay. When it is a wick, it is unfresh. Okay. Now I'm going to show an example of an unfresh level. So as you can see, you have a bearish candle, closing of the first one. You draw it to the right. This is a gap that is touched by price action. What type of price action? You're going to have a wick. Okay, you're going to have wicks. So it doesn't matter how many wicks. As long as you have one, okay, it makes it unfresh. Now, let's say, okay, price has both. It has a wick and a body. You ask yourself the third question, which is, what's the last type of price action that went through the level? Okay, just remember this question. What's the last type of price action that went through the level? Now, I'm going to give you an example where price touched the level by the two types of price action. So here you have, let me just take one right here. Okay, so as you can see, this gap right here, let me just work with a one, that way better. Okay. If you take this gap, for example, bullish candle, closing of the first one, you drag it to the right. Okay, drag it to the right. Now, when you ask yourself, did we touch this level? You're going to be answering yes. What type of price action? You're going to have both, body and the wick. And when you have both, what's the last type of price action that went through it? Meaning that going from the right to the left. Now, what type of price action that went through the level? It is a wick. Okay, this is the last thing that touched the level, meaning that the key level is unfresh. If it is a body, it makes it fresh again. Okay, so this level was fresh with a body, fresh until we had this wick. But then let's say after this wick we have a body, it becomes fresh again. Okay, is that clear? Do you have any questions? Clear. Okay, love to hear that. Amazing. Okay, so that is the first thing about the fresh and unfresh concept. Now, when it comes to the 4-2 rule, let me just read body fresh, wick equals unfresh. I didn't get that. Bar close above or below does not matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it closes above or below it. So as long as it's a body on top of the level, it makes it fresh again. Now, I'm going to give you an example here. Just right. So you have a bullish candlestick, closing of the first one, you draw your line to the right. So here you have a body, it was still fresh, and then until you had your wick, so it made it unfresh. The price broke it once, twice, so it became fresh again. Okay, now it gets a little bit complicated when it comes to the 4 and 2 rule. Right, 4 and 2 rule. So what's the 4 and 2 rule? So the 2, you're going to be using that on the H4, H1. The 4, you're going to be using that on the daily and the weekly. But what's that? Okay, so is there a wick or a body sitting on the level? Okay, so the 4-2 rule. Now, what's that? How many times can a level become fresh, unfresh, fresh, unfresh, fresh, unfresh again? Okay, can you drag a level from the very right here and look if the level is fresh or unfresh? You can't do that. Okay, so you have to use the 4 and 2 rule. Now the levels on the H4 and H1 can be unfresh, then fresh again, unfresh, fresh again, only for 2 times. Now I'm going to explain that. And on the 4-hour, on the daily and the weekly, it's 4 times. So the level can be fresh, unfresh, 4 times. Now, fresh and unfresh, basically meaning that we used the level, not just touched it. Now there is a difference between touching the level and using the level. Now using the level meaning that we touched the level when it was fresh. So that touch becomes a use. Okay, that might sound a little bit complicated, but let me just repeat that. When we use the level, okay, let's say we want to use this level, it means that we made it unfresh after it was fresh. Now, is this level fresh? Yes. So when you wick it right now, you're going to make it unfresh. So this becomes one use, okay? One use meaning that this wick made this level unfresh. Now, this is one use, okay? One use. Now, if we touch it again with another wick, say I have another body right here, did we use this level? No, because the level was already unfresh, as you can see here. The level is already unfresh. So this one does not count simply because the level is not fresh anymore. So it only counts as a use when you touch it. I'm sorry, when you touch it when it's fresh, basically, yeah. So how many times did we use it? One. How many times did we touch it? Twice, as you can see right here. Yes, for uses, not for touches. Okay, for uses, not for touches. Now, when does the wick counts again? So when you break it, okay, and then you wick it again. You have to understand this part very, very well, okay? So here. Now, how many times did we touch the level? That's 4 times. How many times did we use it? 1 right here, and the second time right here. Why did this one count? Because this is the wick that made the level unfresh again after it was fresh, after this break, okay? So I'm gonna take a level from the left, and to see if you guys understood, tell me, okay, take your time and tell me how many times did we touch it / use it. So you're gonna be counting how many times did the price action touch it, and how many times did we use it. Okay, there is a difference between use and touch. Don't worry if you don't understand, I'll be explaining that again. Okay, so I don't want your random answers. Okay, just give me 9, 2. Okay, yeah, just like that, 9, 2. Okay, so 9 for touches and 2 for uses. So we're gonna be counting that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, did we touch it? Yeah, that is total of 10 times. So we touched the level 10 times, okay, 10 touches. But how many times did we use it? So we used it only when it was fresh. So when was it fresh? It was fresh in the beginning right here, as you can see. Take your time, okay? Don't confuse yourself. So here it was fresh. And then the first wick that made it unfresh is the one that counts. So this is 1. Does this count? No, it doesn't, because the level is not fresh anymore. So 0, then 0. And then the body breaks it, so it becomes fresh again. As you can see, once it becomes fresh again, where's the wick that made it unfresh again? It's this one. So 2. 1 right here, 2 right here. Does this one count? No. Does this one count? No. Broke it once, twice, so it became fresh, and then we never touch it again. So we touched it 10 times, and we used it 2 times. 1 right here, and then 1 right there. Okay. Is anyone still confused about this part of touch and use, the difference between that? All clear? Okay. More. Amazing. If you still have doubts, don't hesitate to tell me, okay? I can explain this again and again, because this is all what we're going to go through today. I don't want to give you a lot more information. So, all right. So if you don't have any questions to ask, I'll be giving you the homework now. Everything. Okay. No worries. No worries. Look, so just take your time, because as I said, this is very new to some of you, so that's why I didn't want to give you more in today's session. Today's session was supposed to be around 1 hour, 20 minutes, 1 hour and a half, but since just an introduction and getting to know you more, guys, yeah, it's just going to be a quick one. Now, the fresh and unfresh is used in all 3 types AV gaps. Yes, the fresh and unfresh, you're going to be using it in all the 5 types of SNR. Okay. Review the 4-2 rule again. Okay. Okay. No worries. I'll review the 4-2 rule again. Now, let's simply take a fresh level. Okay, this is for Derek. Yeah, for Derek. So you're going to be answering the questions that I'm going to be asking you right now. So, Derek, here you're going to have what type of level? What type of level is this? This question is directed to Derek. A level, correct. Is this A level fresh or unfresh? Fresh, exactly. Now, if you have a body over it, it's going to stay fresh, correct? Correct. Now, the first wick that you see in here is going to count as a use, not just touch. Okay, there is a difference between using and touching the level. Now, the first wick you see is one use. Okay, the first wick you see is one use. Boom, just right here. Okay, this is one use. So just keep this in mind. Now, we used it once. And how many times did we touch it? Twice. One with the wick and one with the body. Okay, the use meaning that we wicked it for the first time when it was fresh. Now, is the level fresh or unfresh in this scenario? Unfresh, right? So if it is unfresh and then price decides to give it another wick, is this wick going to count as a use? The level is unfresh. It's not fresh anymore. So is this going to count? No, exactly. Now, how many times did we use it? Just once right here, right? Here it was unfresh and this is just a body. So just once. Do you get me now? Yes, though. So that is the difference between we used it and touch it. Now, price is going to break it again and then make it fresh again. So the first wick, it's just the same thing that's going to apply here is going to apply here. Okay, so and another wick and then another body. Just right here, okay, from my random drawings. So here we made it unfresh, so this one counts as 2 use and this one doesn't count because it is unfresh. Now, how many times can price break, touch it again on the 4 hour? 1 hour, 2 times, on the daily and the weekly, 4 times. Any other questions, guys? Everything clear? Got it, amazing. No worries. Clear. Okay. Now, the next session, guys, I don't want it to be on next Saturday because it's going to be a lot of time for you just for this little bit of knowledge. So I'm going to be deciding on the group. I'm going to be sending another poll for another day. Maybe it's going to be sooner if that suits you. If it doesn't, then we're just going to keep it on Saturday because I want to fast forward the knowledge for you guys. I don't want you to be sitting a whole week with just the fresh and unfresh concept. Okay, so the poll is going to be sent on Saturday group. Okay, so yeah, the homework is going to be marking A, V, gap, RBS, SBR, and QM levels for this period of time right here. Right here, and with one condition. They all have to be fresh, okay? And when I say fresh, bear with me, right? So I don't want your chart to look something like this, okay? Don't want all of it with lines, okay? I don't want to see a homework like this. Please don't send me this, okay? It's a fucking nightmare to me. So I want you to draw a simple small line right here and then stop it to the right, just right here, okay? It doesn't matter if it is unfresh on the very right. I want you to focus on here, this space, okay? Just this space. Just do something like this, okay? Just something like this. I want you to focus on this. So in this area, okay, in this area, price is fresh, right? I don't care if it is unfresh right there. I'm going to repeat that. I don't care about the very right of the price action. So you're going to be marking the levels that are fresh. Now I'm going to do this piece of homework for you. So this is a gap, 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 A level, gap. You don't have to write it. Just mark all the fresh levels. And when it comes to the QMs, I want you to type that this level is a QM. I'm going to give you an example of a QM. Now, this right here is a small a, then this one. Sorry. Oh yeah, the screen was frozen. I'm just gonna explain that again. Yeah. So here, can you see again? Yeah, okay, amazing. So I don't want you to draw the lines to the very right here. I don't want that, okay? So I just want you to focus on this area and tell me if the level is fresh or unfresh here. For example, if I draw this whole line to the right, the level is basically unfresh, but I don't care about that. I just wanted to draw it right here and tell me if it's fresh or unfresh in this area. So the homework, let's say here, I'm going to take this is gap, 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 A level, and gap, they're all fresh. I'm not going to mark the levels that are unfresh. I'm just going to mark the levels that are fresh. So don't type in front of it. Don't do this, okay? Don't do this, only for QMs. I don't want you to type gap and put it here and then it's going to be filled with the colors, whatever, okay? Just do it on the QMs. Now the QMs, I'm going to give you an example here. This is an A level, and this is a bigger A level. Okay, this is a bigger A level, and this is a QM. So I'm just going to type a small QM on it. In this example, it's not fresh. I want you to look for the fresh ones. Okay, if you can't find a lot of fresh ones, then just do the unfresh ones. So just I understand that you trained your eyes enough to see the QMs and the types of the levels and fresh and unfresh. This is the first homework. Okay. Yes, the close proximity of the levels or the whole chart. You're not going to be drawing the line to the very right. You're just going to be looking at the close proximity. Yeah, right here. So based on Owanda or Pepperstone, preferably Pepperstone, but on Pepperstone you're going to be finding an issue which is confusing for some of you. So in this example, you're going to have this big gap, so you're not going to be able to identify where's the level. So it's simply the closing of the first one. Bullish, bullish, closing right here. This is your gap. Or if you're confused, just go back with Owanda and just work with that. I don't mind the homework on Owanda because we're going to be using both brokers on the storyline part. There is an issue that we, us Malaysian SNR strategy traders faced over the past few weeks. So we had to use both brokers, which is Owanda and Pepperstone. So Pepperstone, 8 cap, Saxo, they're all fine. Okay, I preferably use Pepperstone. Now this is the first homework. The second homework that I'm going to give you is going to prepare you for the next session. Okay, the second homework is you're going to be finding where did price do an explosive move. In the next session, I'm going to teach you, I'm going to show you when and how to identify the time and the place for price when it's going to give you an explosive move of at least 500 pips. Now, as you can see here, this bullish move, you're going to find the fresh level that started this bullish move. Okay, this bearish move, I want you to find the level that started this bearish move. Now I'm going to give you an example. So you see this bullish move right here, it consists of how many pips? 464 pips. I want to find the level that started it. So the level that started it is right here. Now you're going to be able to identify this level by doing the first homework. Okay, so after you finish the whole homework, the first one, you're going to be able to find these, and then you go to the second homework. So gap, unfresh, unfresh, made it fresh again, price goes to it, then flies up. Okay, some of the levels are going to get broken, some of the levels are going to get respected, and I'm going to be explaining why and how in the next session. So here, boom, price went down again, and then where did it go up again from? It went up from this one. Okay, so I want you to find the whole swing levels that started the swing points. Time from February 28th, 2023 until today. Okay, so this one, this one, this one, this one, okay? Don't get confused. Sometimes, just a few times, you're not going to find the level and it's going to start from nothing. I will be also explaining that in the next session, okay? So if you don't have any questions right now, gotta drink some water, man. Yeah, so all right, I don't think any of you have any questions for now. Everything is clear. I think I'm that good of a teacher, yeah? So I'll be sending you the recording, today's recording, because I've recorded today's session. By the way, I like this group more than the other, okay? So the Monday group is actually dead energetically. Yeah, they're fucking dead energetically. I like your energy way more, guys. Okay, I'll be allowing you to open up your mics in the next session, by the way. Just amazing, amazing group, guys. Let's go, let's go. Make me happy, bro. So If you have any further questions, please feel free to tag me and DM me on the group. Okay, I'll catch you up, guys, in the next one. Bye-bye.
Recording stopped.